Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
A Bix.
April, let me couldn't talk about it. Please.
No, you need to explain to me
gosh.
and to the public
listen,
what
right?
happened.
So it's a beautiful Thursday morning. You know that tomorrow that Halloween.
I love that he's avoiding the elephant in the room. And I saw you on I think it was Sports Monday, right?
Yeah, right.
And I sat. Yeah. No.
You know the long there's this time in the season for everything. The long curly hair was popping. Then there was a time to say, all right, let's step back and look a little bit more gentleman-like for now. And so that's exactly what happened there. April went to my barber and I told him, snip, 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 at least for now. And then we'll figure out the rest later.
I'm just kidding. Of course, it looks nice, but
thank you.
I was already used to. You know when you're done used to it, like when I chop off my hair and everybody said, but I don't know.
Yeah. You know, I remember that
I also did the same thing.
Where you just show up on set and I was like, wait. April?
You see? You understand me.
Yes,
you understand me.
And then we smile about it. Like Marlene and I were in San Pedro.
Yeah.
And we smile and it's like, oh, it looks good though. And then we continued on with the show. So.
But yes, nevertheless, thank you for being here this morning.
Of course, it's always a pleasure, April.
But of course, we always try to kick things off early in the mornings with what is buzzing on the news. And you know, for the most part, news is very unpredictable. And I'm never able to gauge where I want to speak about, what I want to speak about in the morning. But what really shocked me was the press conference from the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital yesterday.
It shocked a lot of us, but it honestly didn't come as a surprise.
No?
Because this is an issue that we've been following since earlier this year. In fact, there was some sort of protest that had already taken place earlier this year. I don't know if you recall when this whole meme was going viral about this one of the union members speaking about, oh, I just get paid and I done broke.
Yeah.
Who just get paid and they done broke?
Yeah.
And that was him protesting, but that became a meme. And that was earlier this year. And so this is perhaps just an extension of what we saw there earlier this year with the KHMHA union coming out and saying, hey, this issue has yet to be resolved. And what are the issues? We're talking, according to them, we're talking supply issues. One union member saying that it took them, so that they've timed where it took them some 25 minutes to perform or to insert an IV.
Yes.
I don't know the exact terms.
He said that he had to gather supplies and try to
gather the supplies
to help his patient, and it was a simple IV process, but it was necessary.
And then another union member speaking about resuscitation and
CPR,
the bags that they use to have these patients breathing, and the fact that there's adult type bags and then there's pediatric type bags, and the fact that they've had to use pediatric bags. So these two among the many issues that they raised yesterday, of course, including the matter of pension, the matter of income tax return, which I think a lot of public officers have been reeling about lately. Nonetheless, we also heard from the CEO at the KHMH who basically said that this matter blindsided her because she did not expect a press conference.
She did not expect a press conference, albeit that they are they've tried to have open communication with the president of the union and so forth. However, she did admit that the problems that they are, talking about, these issues were something that KHMH were facing long before COVID, right? COVID just came and to a higher level, and she did also state that while we're trying, the X amount of expenses go towards income, X amount of expenses go towards supplies, and sometimes it's not necessarily the fault of any one person if they can't get the supplies in the country, or they can't receive certain medications, or certain licenses are not distributed for them to receive certain medications and so forth. So it's a series of events where I think that transparency is important, trust is important, open communication is important, and I feel that none of these things are properly handled within both parties. So the union is saying this is what they're seeing, this is what they don't get, whereas the CEO is saying, listen, we're in a position where we're trying our best, but there's certain things that are out of our control. And not one or the other is saying they're wrong or they're right, but what everybody can agree on, they need help. They need assistance. And then the question comes, who provides that?
Well, you have to understand that this is what the union's role is. They're there to represent the members of their staff. And let's say, for example, I work in a facility, I work in an arena where my supplies are not adequate for me to carry out my job. One, if I truly care about the people I serve, then that becomes a problem. But two, if I want to be effective in my service and not go home demoralized, feeling like I did not deliver adequate service, and as a result, my patient did not receive the necessary service, then those are issues that I, as an employee, can't see myself carrying that weight on a daily basis without breaking, without saying anything. And so when you ask, or when the question is asked, well, why do they have to come out and hold a press conference and air these issues out in public, you have to understand that, well, this is that mechanism that these staff members, that these employees have. And given the privilege, they have the media to then come to and say, we want to air these out. Now, I get the understanding from them that it has reached a breaking point. And we did say in the intro to our first story that albeit some of their complaints or concerns may be a bit exaggerated, we were able to be there and we were able to hear those concerns, and we did get an understanding that it may be at a breaking point where they have tried for some time
all their measures,
to address these matters through the minister himself by calling meetings that they say have not been listened to. So the minister has not necessarily respected those dates and timelines that they've set, and perhaps even through the CEO. So no blame on their part for doing what they are in the right to do. Air out these concerns in public. You have these concerns, you have these issues, they've been long standing. Now you look at the CEO's role and you look at where her hands are tied. In the fact that she speaks about government subvention of $2.4 million. And I sit here and I say, mothers, you get $2.4 million from the government monthly. That's
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Yeah,
but then she
but
breaks down the figures and she says
No.
2.1 to 2.2 million
Goes to
goes to
salaries.
salary. And
Yeah.
like, OMG,
And
that's a lot. So that leaves you with about 0.2 million, 0.3 given the month to get supplies. So now you have an issue here.
And then just to clarify, some of these medications, and it's not just medications, things like gauze, things like gloves,
Masks.
cleaning supplies, masks, they need goggles, they need their coats and so forth. Those are costly.
Yeah.
Those are expensive. And the reality of the matter is that when you're buying these types of supplies, you're not buying, they're not like if when me and you go to a shop and we buy down for the month, right? You are going there to buy by bulk to make sure it lasts at least up until before an
So
expiration
you know
date.
they pay
So you are not
$50, $60.
no. And so
Yeah.
it comes with and then that just goes to show you the amount that is being used
Yeah.
in the facility.
Well.
Right? Because you can't predict emergency cases.
Yeah.
And so you don't know if somebody come in gushing out how much gauze you need, how much gloves you need, how much cotton you need, and so forth. And you might just run out of your 6 month supply will be shortened by 3 months. And then within that time span you have to reapply it again, and you have to order and pre-order and all of these measures. And so those things, I feel that, when you are in your own space, what is in your space is necessary to you, and if it is taken away, you don't know how to deal, right? And then when you ask questions, the answers are not proper, or you get like a side by, they don't pay attention to you. I feel like that is the case in the public work, right? Where I need my stuff in order to function, and it is not provided. That is your job. You, Paul, you're supposed to provide that. And then you're telling me, April, I made the order, I'm trying to get the paperwork in, but it's not happening. And for me to my patient can't wait a minute to make that happen. So it's this chain of events. One decision affects the other person, and then simultaneously affects a patient, right? So I don't know how they're planning to resolve. They are planning to resolve it, and as Minister of Health and Wellness rightfully mentioned, that they have to get other ministries involved to hash out these matters.
Yeah, the health system has been, and I've been whining and twining this term in my head for some time. But since yesterday, but you know how they say you're up beat creek with no paddle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I use the word on live TV, but the health system has been up Tuto Creek with no paddle for some time. I use the censored term because, April, these supplies issues, it's nothing new. And like you rightfully said, the COVID-19 pandemic only exaggerated these issues. So when the Minister of Health came in, only recently, remember, there was a lot of issues and a lot of protests. But this was just recently, even down south and at the KHMH and across the country, where nurses and other healthcare practitioners got out of their office and said, we need supplies. Now, the minister came out and said, all right, we're delivering those supplies. We only received information recently or last week that the Southern Regional Hospital themselves, that they're still facing medical supply issues. Now, as I understood it from the minister in communication, those supplies were going to be in by Monday of this week. So I don't know if that matter has been resolved. But at the end of the day, we want to see our healthcare workers have the supplies they need. We want to see the patients receive the service they need. And I think it comes down to a matter of funding and
proper investment.
I think as the population grows more and more, the demands are higher,
And we have to
and we
keep
need to take that into account.
Yeah.
But the way we do that, April, and I think we have a problem with this in Belize, is unification.
Everything is politics, and we
Everything
100%
becomes politics
believes-
and division,
Yeah.
and politics and
Yeah.
division. There must be a sense of unification. How do we put all our heads together to find a solution?
I really hope that they do get ahead of this sooner
Yeah.
rather than later, because just like how you need your supply in your workspace to function, your nurses and your doctors need their medical supplies in order to save a life. And I think that one of the things that we speak about it so very like nonchalantly is the nurses are protesting because they don't have supplies, and that is very short-handed. The nurses are protesting because they don't have supplies because their patients need it. These are, you know, you're not to play croquet here. These are lives. They're trying to save somebody.
I have
And-
friends that are nurses, April, and I could vouch for the passion that some of these people have. I sit down here and listen to their stories. I'm like, Malas, are you still do this? And like, cause I love my job and I do it for the love of my people.
Here you go. So let's hope that they get that matter settled. But, you know, on a lighter note,
On a
Paul
lighter
has a
note.
story to share, which I think is so lovely. And you said you took the picture.
I did. In fact, I took a video. I was driving up Central American Boulevard, as I normally do, from south to north. This morning, south to north is the right geographical direction in terms of a straight line. And I was driving from south to north this morning, and I noticed the divide along Central American Boulevard, and it's changing a bit, April. I think it's an effort. I'm not sure if the council is behind it. I would imagine they are,
So
in terms of
green.
greening and beautifying the divide along Central American Boulevard. And so what that makes for is a more pleasant drive. And there I say, Neymar crossing the pedestrian, I had to stop. Show you I'm a good driver,
Oh,
I'm a
gosh.
citizen's driver.
Well.
But then there again, you see more plants being rooted into the ground, and it looks good.
Yeah.
And it gives you a good feeling when you're driving to work in the morning, instead of just seeing the dry dirt. Some of the trees, they seem to still be working their way to catching life. But then there are
Oh, it's
those that are already up high and looking good.
It's lovely, and I'm so glad that you shared this with us, because I think that whenever we do things like the eye opener, whenever we talk about motivation and motivating yourself, this is the things that we talk about. Take time to cherish the goodness, the small positives, the small pleasures of life. It's a lovely scenery, and I can't wait to see how the trees grow
Right.
up.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so
years
it's
from
lovely.
now.
It's lovely.
Yeah,
Thank you
so-
so much for sharing.
Of course.
And thank you so much for segueing into our eye opener for this morning. With that, we will bring you some motivation this morning with our eye opener, and our eye opener is taken from dailyom.com and goes like this. Life unfolds as it will, and the universe will wait patiently as we make our way into the unknown. Our lives are guided by natural rhythms that are particular to each of us and cannot be altered by force of will alone. Life itself is a journey made up of processes and events that manifest before us, only to be swept away when time marches on. Whether we envision ourselves creating a career, building a family, or developing the self, we instinctively know when the time has come for us to realize our dreams, because all that is involved comes together harmoniously. When the time is right, the passage of destiny cannot be blocked. Yet, as desperate as we are to touch these beautiful futures we have imagined, we cannot grow if we are not fully present in the evolutionary process. The present can be challenging, uncomfortable, and tedious, but life unfolds as it will, and the universe will wait patiently as we make our way into the unknown. Like many people, you have no doubt longed for the ability to fast forward through certain periods of your life. Yet haste, by its very nature, vastly more stressful than serene fortitude. When you feel yourself growing impatient because the pace of your development is deceptively slow, remember everything that will occur in your life will occur in its own time. Quelling your urge to rush will enable you to witness yourself learning, changing, and becoming stronger. There is so much to see and do in between the events that we deem definitive. If you are patient enough to take pleasure in your life's unfolding, the journey from one pinnacle to the next will seem to take no time at all.
I like it when the eye openers are longer. And
You take time to think.
Take it in and think about it. But April, that's a beautiful eye opener about pacing ourselves, about taking time to enjoy the beauty around it. How many times have I sped down Central American Boulevard because I need to get to work? Versus this morning, I wasn't all that on time in terms of when the time I usually get here, but I decided, you know what, let me slow down.
Yeah.
And that's when I was able to capture the beauty of the divide, or what is to become something beautiful for future generations. And so is it with our lives, where we sometimes just race through certain events too fast. Man, I just can't wait for this event over, or this meeting where you have to do weekly. Man, I can't just wait for this meeting start or finish. Then you get in the meeting and then you're like, you know what? Let me just slow down and take this in, because perhaps there's something to learn here. And then when this is finished, because it will be finished, it won't last forever unless you're having a lecture with a 3 hours or 4 hours lecture. It won't last forever, and that still don't last forever, and then you can move on to something else.
I feel that with those kinds of situations, you're like, I can't wait for just get through this so that I can move on to the next. I'm guilty of doing that. I feel like we all are, you know. But the reality is that if it wasn't important, if you weren't going to progress or develop yourself in some way, you wouldn't attend that meeting.
Yeah.
You, even if it's for work, like even if, I have to go to this meeting for work, the reality is that it's there for you to learn and grow and to be better at the things that you're doing, better at your job, you know, better in your daily hobbies, I don't know, you know, but the reality is that we do these events, we do these meetings, we do all of these things, we plan and schedule these things in our lives for a purpose. And sometimes when we have this attitude or this mentality of, I just need to get through it, you lose sight of why you were even doing it in the first place. Right. And then you're not able to give your 100% into what you're doing. Then you're not able to gain experience. You're not able to learn something. You're not able to grow. And then you just continue on in with this miserable space of, I just need to get through this, without taking that time to realize all of these measures are for you and for your progress, right? It's not a waste of your time. So that is how I perceive this eye-opener.
Of course. Perfectly.
And I guess we will also be perceiving life events, not to take things hastily, to make sure we grow with our weather.
Let's
for this
see.
morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you,
Good
Miss
morning.
Augustine?
I am fine, and you?
I am well. I'm hoping that you tell me that I get hot so that I could go to Key this weekend.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Ooh, good. So give us that general situation for today.
All right. We expect the warm and mostly dry conditions to continue, going straight into the weekend.
All right, perfect. And so I guess the 24-hour forecast will be sunny.
Yes, it is. Very sunny, especially if you'll be on the Keys. Sunny today with only isolated showers and slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms developing mostly over the mountains. And then for tonight, we expect partly cloudy skies with isolated showers.
Oof. And so I guess the temperatures will be dropping up and down every minute for the course of today.
I think they'll probably stay more on the upside than the down.
So what about our temperatures, our highs and lows?
Highs, we expect about 88 along the coast, about 95 inland, so pretty warm inland, and about 84 up in the hills. Tonight, now, then temperatures will drop slightly to about 78 along the coast, 70 inland, and about 65 in the hills.
All right. And our extended forecast for Friday and Friday night?
Okay, for Friday, we expect the mostly fair weather to continue around the country. Maybe the south can expect an isolated shower or two tomorrow and tomorrow night.
Okay. And how will that affect our marine conditions about our winds?
All right, winds will remain light, so hence the reason why we expect the temperatures to be a bit on the warm side. The winds will be from the east to southeast and only about 5 to 10 knots, so pretty light winds.
Okay. Any tropical updates or advisories that we should be aware of?
No, not at this time, no. We don't expect any tropical cyclone formation, at least over the next 2 to 5 days.
Oh, perfect. That means we're pretty good for the rest of today and tomorrow.
Yes, today and tomorrow, and yeah, at least up to the first half of next week.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for that lovely weather update, and you do have a safe day.
Thanks, and same to you guys.
Yeah, hot.
Yeah, hot.
95 degrees, the Belmopan. Yeah, hot. I am so sorry, Belmopan.
I think we should, instead of doing these weather updates, we should just like put it on the screen. Yeah, hot.
Yeah, hot.
Yeah, cold.
Yeah, cold. Yeah,
Yeah,
wet.
rain.
Yeah, rain. But moving on into our show for this morning, our first segment will be all about the Belize new passport. What is it? How does it benefit us? What are the new restrictions and so forth? The members of the immigration will be here to talk to us all about the new passport. And of course, send in your questions.
And in our second conversation, we have our friends from the Belize City Council. You know,
Ooh,
when
you know how they
then
do.
the email that always to talk about something good, something for do with a sale, what a giveaway, what event. Well, they'll be here to talk about the City Council's anniversary, super mega big, fantastic, gigantic sale.
All of that may fit on the page this
All of
morning.
that's
My
why the
goodness.
page so long this time.
Of course, we will be wrapping things up with representatives from the NCFC. They'll be talking to us about the Children's Parliament. We all know that that is a huge event for our youth and how they can partake in our country's democracy. So we'll be having those folks in to talk to us all about that. But before we get into all of that and more, we're going to take a very short break and we'll be right back with our first segment. So stay tuned.
I will be there. Thank you so much.
Why are you so excited?
Let me tell you a secret. I just got off the phone with Santa.
Hi, Santa. For Christmas, I want a pea shooter, a football. iPhone and a makeup for Christmas.
Oh, Ramon, 1 second.
We just learned that Santa's phone number has just been revealed. The number is 227-7132. Children all over.
I'm sorry, Dad. I shared Santa's phone number.
Excuse me, sir?
Yeah.
But how can you pay with your phone?
B-Box.
What? What is B-Box?
B-Box have been his newest rewards program.
Really? Where I could get it from?
Man, check on the website bbox.bz or you could download it from the App Store. And if you still don't know, check that young lady there and she will hook you up.
I will surely do so. Good afternoon, miss. Can you hook me up with B-Box?
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Donaldson Filtration Solutions is a company that comes with over a century of innovation and offering filters for a cleaner world. To keep your machines and equipment running in the toughest conditions, you need filters that work as hard as you do. Donaldson offers hydraulic filters, air filters, fuel filters, lube filters, and anything needed to keep your machine pristine. Come to your nearest Westrack Limited store for Donaldson filters and whatever your industrial or trucking needs might be.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
And we are back with our first conversation for this morning. Joining us to talk all about the new passport, we have in studio Mr. Mario Arzu, who is the Director of Nationality and Passports Department. Good morning, Mr. Arzu. Good. Into the middle here, we have Mr. Rodolfo Bull, who is the IT Manager at the Immigration of Belize, which I guess has a lot to do with the intricacies and details of the passport. Good morning, Mr. Bull.
Good morning.
And then, of course, we have Dr. Gilroy Middleton, who is the CEO of the Immigration of Belize. So, good morning, gentlemen.
Good
Morning.
Morning.
All right, get right into it. This pretty. I'm sorry, it's gorgeous. But before we get into the artwork of it all, why did we need this passport?
Director?
Why do we need the passport?
Why did we need a revamp on this passport?
First and foremost, we need to step it up. We need to get to the times. The passport that we had, which of course a lot of countries are still using a machine readable passport, the world is going to electronic passport, which would give much more benefits, but the most important part, it's a document that is much more secure.
Okay.
And since we were changing our system, which was an arcade system that we had before, I think we had this conversation at some time, I think with Paul, at some time in the past, then why not?
Yeah.
A new electronic passport issuance and control system comes with a new electronic passport. So both of them go together. And for that reason, we step up to the level that the world is now, which everybody is going to electronic passport.
So I have a question, right? What's electronic about this passport? And it's a valid question because we say e-passport, but then there's still a hard copy. And in some people's minds, the concept of electronic is, well, I won't have to carry around a physical, a tangible document.
Okay, the basic explanation for that part is when we have a machine readable passport, your data is stored in what we call the machine readable zone. Once your passport is scanned, all your personal data comes up. But in an electronic passport, we have a second secure line, which all your data is stored on that microchip that is embedded within that passport. So you have 2 layers of security. If at some point in time, which happens, that biodata page is removed and replaced with a biodata that the machine readable zone can read that data for the person who replaced it, the chip will still maintain the information or the data of the original holder. So it is very difficult to forge. It's a much more secure document, and that's the reason why we refer to it as an electronic passport. But as well, as I mentioned, the world is going with all this high-level technology, which gives you a much more secure means of using a document at the smart gates that are now at almost most of the modern airports in the world, which makes our passport now be able to fit into that category to be used at that level.
Would it be a security compromise if I ask the IT or perhaps you where this security chip, this new security chip is located within the passport?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, so to complement to Mr. Arzu, we have the data that we can see visibly on the front page of the passport, right? Out of that is on the chip itself. Plus your photo as well. That is very key component because your photo is used basically to do biometric checks of the person in front of you. It's not just the data, but also the person and the holder. So we can attach the holder of the passport, take a picture of you, and compare with the picture that is on the passport, on the chip. And then they can then link.
The computer compares it versus you doing it with your eyes.
And the chip itself is on the cover. All right?
On the cover.
On the cover. In our case, on this passport, it's on the back. The chip will be on the back, and there's kind of an antenna going around the passport.
Wow.
So the chip is
That's very advanced.
Yes.
Talk to us about how you were able to secure negotiations with the Canadian company to help you with this, with the security details of the passport.
Well, I can talk about the process itself.
Sure,
and,
sure.
It's been a discussion, I believe, that over the years, and we did put on the proposal there for the new system and a new document itself. CBN was one of the ones that submitted the proposal, and after a careful review, we went with them. The process of the document itself took almost 2 years. Yes, it's a 2-year process. We've been working with them. First was the design itself, just what we see, and then also the layer of security. So it was a back and forth on a weekly meetings with Mr. Arzu, CEO, and their team discussing on all the details that will go on the passport itself.
So when it comes to this new passport, and this is the ordinary one, the one that we have on display right now, we are aware that there are 4. Yes, four new passports. CEO, can you talk to us about these new passports, and then I'll get on with the rest of that conversation.
Well, then in terms of the passports, the documents themselves, we follow the CARICOM agreement. So all CARICOM agreements have 3 specific passports. 1, the ordinary one, of which we have a copy here. 2, diplomatic passport, and 3, official passport. So the basic color, the basic size, layout, design, we're required to have CARICOM on the cover, CARICOM on every page. All CARICOM countries follow that. And we have additionally a temporary passport, which lasts for a year. So those are the 4 passports we've had in the previous iteration in terms of only machine readable. So now we're taking them up in terms of the e-passport.
So if I were to travel to a remote country, right, somewhere in Micronesia, this is not going to give me a problem. I can enter the country smoothly. All countries are aware that this is Belize, this is a Belizean passport.
Yes. So apart from the launch that we had Monday, we invited the resident ambassadors here in Belize. Each ambassador was provided with a package that explains the details of our passport, how their immigration officials would be able to identify if our passport is authentic or not. But one key point to note is that in August, Belize joined the ICAO PKD, which is a group of countries that have e-passport. And in the simplest sense, we share all information about the e-passports that we produce. So when we land, let's say I land in Canada, Canada can immediately know in a few seconds, this was produced by Belize, this was when it was produced, and this was who it was produced for. When a Canadian comes to Belize, identically we can identify that it's an authentic passport. So that enhances the security. So now when you go to Micronesia, our passport is secure, and they know that our passport was made by Belize office and it's not a knockoff.
So I just renewed my passport before this launched. Can I renew it again? Or do I have to wait?
Of course, what we did, of course, under the previous regs that control the issuance of passports, you would have to wait until you're within 12 months of expiration to renew. That has been removed.
Okay.
If you just obtain your passport 3 or 2 months ago, since we just changed, you can walk back into our office and make a submission to get your e-passport. So that restriction has been removed.
And these passports are still valid for 10 years, however.
Of course.
I would imagine that given the scorn that is attached to the passport department, immigration as well, when it comes to the duplication and replication of passports, that this addresses that issue once and for all, in that you can't necessarily go and forge your own passports, or I'm more asking about the security aspect, the scorn that has come with the passport department in terms of people infiltrating the system and getting passports for under the table without going through the proper procedure. I don't know how, if any at all, this addresses that.
Well, it works in several ways, Paul. It helps to understand that the procedures that govern the issuance of a passport, as well as the document itself, as well as the people working within the system themselves, are the ones that must safeguard the entire process.
Indeed.
Changing the passport system in and of itself is not a solution to it all. It has to be several steps taken to ensure that the integrity of our document is maintained, not only by the system itself, which lends a very high level of security, but it also comes from the individuals operating that system. And that has been in place for years. If you look at what has happened recently, we have stepped up in terms of the document itself and the processes internally and the way that we operate the system to ensure that we are issuing the document to those who deserve the document. So that has been a work in progress for several years now.
So let's get a bit more into the data collection aspect. How do I interact, or what sort of interaction will I have with the website or the application, a form when I go online and I seek to enter my data? What is being asked of me on that form?
Okay, so first of all, this is phase one of the implementation of the system.
Okay.
We will have several phases throughout the following year and so forth. So you will see that over the months you will have new information coming out from the immigration department. The step one today was to replace the old system. That was a necessity. We needed to do that. So step one, we have the system, and to assist individuals in the process, we are deploying the online appointment at this time.
Okay.
Not online application. That's two different things. Okay.
Good.
Step
I
one,
appreciate the
online
clarity.
appointment. Online appointment is the first step. Online appointment for all district offices. So you can select your time, date, office where you want to go.
Okay.
That will be the first step. We will activate that starting tomorrow. So on Monday you can come in with your appointment. Okay. So that is what you will see at this moment. The forms, we also made them fillable to begin with. Okay, so you can in and go to your computer, type it in, information. You don't have to write per se. As Mr. Arzu will explain, we reduce the number of forms as well required to apply for the passport as well. Try to streamline the process. Well, the target is online applications. That is the target.
Yeah.
Right now, we are in the process of having those discussions to finalize what will be that process. Okay, so again, later on, we might come back here again and give you more information. At this time, online appointments, and you have to come in with your application to the office.
Okay.
Okay?
So this is all a part of the new system.
Yes.
So the online application, and this is just, I'm just trying to get it clarified. Once I set my application online, I can make my appointment online as well?
No, all right. Like I said, right now it's only online appointments.
So it's
only online appointments.
Okay.
Okay.
So no, but what I mean by that is, so if I put my appointment online
Yes.
and I go in, I don't need one number to wait. And
no.
okay, that's what I wanted to clarify, right?
Yes.
So I don't need to go there at 5 in the morning and wait for.
No.
Great. That is what I wanted to clarify. So once I make that application and that appointment online, I am good.
Yes.
For the date.
That's right.
So I don't have to wait till 85.
No.
Perfect. I needed that to be clarified. So if I renewed my passport 2 months ago, let's say, and I don't apply for the new electronic one, is that passport still valid?
Of course, of course. We have not voided those documents. They continue with the validity of time that we have placed in the passport, so they are still good to use. But just to attach to what Mr. Ball was saying earlier, we have also simplified the application form itself. I'm sure that you recall that you had to bring in several pieces of paper when you were making a submission.
And if you're not got them there, you go back.
Exactly.
You come back tomorrow.
We have attempted to simplify that by just preparing one application form.
Wow.
That would address both adults and the under 16-year-olds. And that also would address the recommender that we still use for the first issuance of your e-passports. Of course, when you renew your e-passports, the intent is that you no longer have to bring all those documents. You no longer have to need a Belizean recommender because you will have already been in the system. And again, we look at going forward because you recall that we used to charge you for damaged passports, for mutilated documents. We're removing those. Why? Because if we're looking at an online system, then we would not be seeing the passport upon presentation, so that no longer forms a part of this application process. But you will see that once you start with this and the online appointments, everything becomes much, much easier. No long lines at our offices across the country, because it's important to understand that you can go to any part of this country and make your application now. Not like in before, everybody comes to Bemopan.
And when you say before, you mean just 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
This is just 2 weeks ago that you...
Well, we just launched on Monday. You know? So everything starts from Monday going forward.
So if the process, I understand the process itself and so on. So this is in line with the e-passport. So even though I've already had my passport renewed and I've done my documentation, in order for me to apply for an e-passport, I still need to redo the application, go online, bring my documents in, and so forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
CEO, if you would speak up I would imagine you would be able to speak on the decision-making process that went into the cost of these passports. I know there was a lot of controversy because a week or so before these passports were officially launched, there were some prices being thrown around that had Belizeans on the edge of their seats, like mothers. If I have to pay that price, then I can't afford to eat for a week or two. But we've clarified that now. Would you talk about the decision-making process to keep the prices at what would be a relatively affordable rate?
Well, the decision-making process, the initial cost would be in terms of covering the cost of the passport. So that was prepared, that was submitted to Cabinet, and Cabinet deliberated. So the official cost was not finalized until after the Cabinet's deliberation. And Cabinets, after discussing it, noted that at this time they recommend that we proceed by maintaining the current fees, which are laid out in the new regulations. As Director Arzu noted, the new regulations also lays out that everyone can come in and renew their passport at this time, as opposed to having to wait until there's 6 months left on it. So the decision-making process in the simplest sense would be in terms of adjusting to where we are as a country.
So what guarantee is there that there won't be lines still outside these passport offices, especially in Belmopan? Because yes, you're taking appointments online, but there may be people, one, that either may not be informed and still go and form lines. Will they be turned back? Or two, people that just disregard going online to make an appointment, perhaps even due to a lack of accessibility to these types of services, online services, and still go and form lines. Will they be turned back?
So in simplest sense, no one will be turned back. We are working in terms of facilitating as many people as we can facilitate. As noted earlier, this is a new system. We provided images of the new system. So while people would have been waiting outside in the past, a picture would be taken and it's buffering. And then when it's finished buffering for 15 minutes, you don't get a picture.
Oh, really?
So now we have state-of-the-art equipment. So the line will flow. For example, in Belmopan, we had 2 data capture units. There was kind of a bottleneck there, going from 4 customer service to 2 data capture units. So now we added a 3rd one. We opened the office space. So that kind of has the line flowing. In the simplest sense, as Director noted, we went from 3 locations, Corozal, Tong, Belize City, and Belmopan, the only locations where you could apply. Now we have 7 countrywide, all 6 districts, and the 7th one would be San Pedro. So we are working on getting the information out. Thank you for having us today.
Of course.
Sharing this information, we'll go to the newspapers, share this information that you could apply there. The process has been improved. If you come to Belmopan without an appointment, we'll see how we can facilitate you. But the idea is that we follow the appointment system. You only come in when you have your specific appointment. But of course, we have cases where there are emergencies that we would have to address.
I mean, when you go and apply for your US visa, for example, you can't just walk in and say, I need an appointment. No, you have to apply online and then get your appointment date. So I would imagine it's in similar fashion. It seems so surreal, and I go back to it, given that only 2 weeks ago, only a month ago, we were dealing with this issue of long lines. We were dealing with this issue of Belizeans or residents coming from across the country converging onto Belmopan and creating long lines at 5 a.m. in the morning, and you're telling me now that that doesn't have to be the case any longer. Apart from this forum, how do we continue to get this information out so that people really understand exactly what's happening here?
Well, it's public information sharing, and as CEO just mentioned, we're going to be out sharing this information
Social
in
media.
newspapers, and of course our website is there. And again, we want to emphasize the simple fact that why we had to operate under those conditions was a result of several factors. 90% of those factors have been removed. We have a new system. As CEO mentioned, no more buffering. That system is across the country. We have applications can be done online, appointments, as well as the individuals living in Corozal, unless there is an urgent need for the passport. If it's an emergency document, then you come to Bamapan. Other than that, you go to your district stations comfortably, you do your appointments. If you can't, you walk in, we'll find a way to accommodate. We won't turn back anyone, but we would encourage that you use the facilities to make your appointment.
So then my question goes to Mr. Bull in the sense of the process of preparing your servers. Did you have to change? Because if you're going to be doing online appointments, I would imagine that there would be hundreds of traffic online.
Yes.
So how do we make sure it doesn't crash?
Yes, so it's, we don't know exactly how many numbers we started coming.
Right.
We saw a surge on day one on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We were having roughly 2,000-3,000 visits a day.
I think the system crashed.
It crashed.
Yes, I know because I tried to go on it that day.
We exploded in a minute to 10,000-12,000 of visits every hour. So it did crash. We look at that. We have increased our bandwidth on the server. So hopefully that will assist. If it happens again, we expand.
Of course.
Okay. So we always looking at those things.
But you need to note quickly the backup. We have a backup server at an undisclosed location.
This is in terms of the online, okay? Online appointment. That is separate from our actual system. Our system is not exposed to the internet. It's protected.
Yeah, because
it's not on the internet.
I was going to ask how secure my data is that I give you.
Okay, the data, this system is by Canadian Banknotes. Okay, they have a history of deploying systems in the Caribbean, in the region. We are not the first one in this area that they are working with. The way how they work is very professional. We have two systems. One is hosted at CITO, one is hosted by us. Okay? All the data is secured in such a way that not even users have access to it. We have computers that are strictly for passport. We can't even say, oh, I will hook up this computer and plug it in and have access to the passport. No. The system is audited every single step. Every click that you do, it's audited in the system. So in terms of that, be more confident that is well protected. Okay.
So, all right, and this is just my final question in terms of the process itself, the assurance that it's going to be quick and easy and safe. Pick up. So how do I get my passport after I've already been done with this whole process?
Simple process. If you want, you could choose where you want to pick up your passport.
Okay.
That's how easy we have made it for you. You do it in Bemapan, but want it in San Pedro, on the application form itself, you indicate where you want it, it's going to get there. We have the offices coming in, bringing the application forms for us to produce in Bemapan on a weekly basis. So we have that turnaround within a week to get the documents back to the station.
Within a week.
Everything should run smoothly, no rush, no hassles, but again, we're just starting to implement. So, you know, we should see how this works, but we will be improving as we go along.
Yeah. Just to add to that, the system is flexible so that we can change workflow. So we see an increase in applicants coming in, we can modify it, and we can start to work and add users. And they can start to focus on just taking photos, could be. All right? We take photos, you leave. Then we can continue the process on the background. So we can modify the workflow to that extent. So we had, like I said, this is our third day today. We had, in Belmopan, we had unexpected large numbers on day one. We learned from that one. Yesterday, we improved our workflow. It was way more faster. So today, we learn again. We're going to improve on it, okay?
Are we still seeing people coming to Belmopan right now, or are people adopting as yet? It's only been 3 days? Are people adapting?
Yeah, the information is not going out that they don't necessarily need to come to Babakan, but they could go to their district stations. And this, again, is why we're here. And what we intend to do is to share this information as we go forward, to have the Belizeans feel comfortable to go into their district stations and get their data taken and pick up their passports there if they so choose.
CEO, let me just ask about I think it's important, the cost of this system, if you would. What was invested to see this system come into fruition?
Well, in terms of the cost of the system, some 11 million US dollars, which is laid out over a period of years. Initially, the initial investment was some 1.5 million. So it's an annual fee that continues. So it's not like we paid the entire 11 million US dollars up front. So as we go along, we'll be addressing it. And at the same time, we are looking at different organizations to see how we can get assistance. A previous system, we were assisted by another country. So it's laid out over a period of years.
For people like me, I have a Belizean passport, and the farthest I know is that it get me to Chetumal, right? For now, and some parts of the Caribbean. How many countries does our passport allow us access to without a visa?
Well, we're currently ranked this year 56 on the Henley Index, which ranks countries by the number of visa-free entry they have. We currently are able to access some 103 countries without a visa. Japan, whom is number 1, they're able to access some 193 countries.
Okay, so we're getting there.
Yeah, so the Ministry of Foreign Affairs does those negotiations and we implement.
Right.
Any final thoughts, CEO?
Well, just to note that this is one of several initiatives of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade, Immigration. From our perspective, immigration, the ministry simply looks at managing migration for the national security and the socio-economic development of Belize. And I'd just like to take the time out to note the 3 individuals from the design team who are not from the ministry.
Yes.
Namely, Xiomara Sawyers, Senior Digital Marketing Officer, Belize Tourism Board. Kim Vasquez, Program Manager, National Institute of Culture and History, and Sapna Bodurani, at that time President, National Institute of Culture and History, and the other design team members were senior managers, including herself here at the ministry, just to tell them thank you, and we'll be contacting you shortly.
I just want to give credit, to the art inside. It is every single thing that is Belizean. You have all of the national animals in here. Well, some of the national animals, some monuments, some historical sites, and so far. It is a beautiful passport.
It just not got rice and beans.
I mean, maybe next time, maybe
our belly cake.
But it's beautiful, and it has all of these wonderful creatures. It's very thick, it's heavy. And so security, right?
Yeah. So to note, the theme is national pride.
Okay.
Sub-themes: Belizean architecture, Belizean flora, Belizean fauna, Belizean
history sites. It has the courthouse in here. It has Alton High in here. It's beautiful. So thank you, gentlemen, so much for coming in this morning, and go online and see how you can get your new electronic passport today. But with that, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with our second conversation for this morning, so stay tuned.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Welcome to Builders Hardware, end of the year mega sale where you can certainly get what you are looking for.
That's right, we're cutting costs and slashing prices across the store.
This sale starts from October 15th until the end of the year.
Enough time for you to plan, shop safely, and save some money.
We're having a huge discount, 20% on paint and 30% and more on selected items, just for you.
Come and visit us in Belmopan. We have quality, variety, quantity, and service with a smile.
Builders Hardware, end of the year mega sale from October 15th to the end of December. We think our customers are awesome.
Builders who build with a passion and skill. Go to Builders Hardware.
Are you eligible for Amnesty 2022? This is your opportunity to apply. When you log on to www.immigration.gov.bz, you will find a full list of required documents needed for the amnesty criteria you are eligible for. Be sure to gather all general and supporting documents needed, including all necessary translations. Then make your appointment online with any of our registration centers countrywide. There, you will submit your documents and complete the required interviews. Thereafter, an acceptance receipt will be provided. While you wait for a decision on your application, track its progress online and know when to make payment at your nearest government treasury office. Once completed, you will receive your permanent residence card, showing your legal status within Belize. Find out more about the Amnesty 2022 and how to apply online at www.immigration.gov.bz. Be prepared. The registration period will be from the 2nd of August to the 30th of November 2022. Belize Amnesty 2022. Let's continue to build Belize together.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
And we are back with our second segment.
And we have with us for our second conversation our good folks, our good friends from the Belize City Council are here to talk with us about the Belize City Council Anniversary Super Sale.
No, that wasn't
super duper fantastic
You had like a whole
sale.
bunch of lines up there.
Oh, we didn't rename it now.
Right.
Rename it now. 4 different adjectives.
And so we have in with us, no stranger to open your eyes, no strangers to open your eyes, Erin Garnett, who is a communications manager at City Council, and Miss Melissa McDougall, who is LED manager. What LED stand for?
Local Economic Development.
Local Economic Development matters. I didn't even know City Council had a whole local economic development branch. What's your role and responsibility?
Local development.
Make it sound like that. It's a one-person department.
You know what? she is the whole.
Yeah,
right
she
down to the
is.
shoes.
What is it that you're responsible for?
Well, to engage and to maintain relationships with our local businesses.
Okay.
And to actually assist small businesses in getting started and different types of things. So
it's a very important role.
Yes,
which is done through our accelerator program.
Yeah.
So you are the mediator between the businesses
And the
all
council.
of the activities that take place.
Yes, to a certain degree, because you know, in spite of the fact that there's just one of me,
Well,
lots
Yeah.
of support.
There's
Lots of support.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's talk to us about how you're able to be that mediator with these businesses, and then you gather them all for this event that would equal the
Well,
super sale.
through the efforts of the PR team and efforts of people that were at the council before this program had started or before the unit was developed, there were people within other departments, especially PR, Michelle and Erin, who kind of worked that relationship and opened the opportunities and doors for businesses, especially downtown businesses. The mayor, of course, who was the brainchild of this entire situation. So what they did was to partner with all of these businesses, local businesses, the downtown businesses, so that we could develop a platform so that economic development can continue, and also not to only continue but to recreate some areas within the local business. And after COVID, I mean, this opportunity became like perfect for most people, and the fact that we had this small unit, it also lends itself to assisting financially with small businesses that didn't have a startup. So we would allow them, or we would help them to get that startup so that they could, you know, kind of stand on their feet. But this platform also gives them the opportunity to come out and showcase them.
So how has this platform benefited these businesses? Have they walked away with some sort of benefit to them as businesses?
Well, yes. So the whole point of the Super Sale, really, the base of Super Sale is connecting consumers with local vendors. So the money keeps in Belize City.
Right.
People shop locally, support each other instead of going other places. And that's what has been happening. I know some of our vendors, the actual time of Super Sale is 10 to 6. Some of them sell out from 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, have to pack up, go home. Some of them have to restock. So we are seeing that where these people are benefiting and they keep coming back. We've been having Super Sale since 2018. It's now 2022. This is our biggest Super Sale yet. We've exceeded 150 businesses this time. It started with I mean, we block out the whole street. We find the space.
Yeah.
And you know, it really started off with 20 businesses. So that is such a huge expansion for us. And it's something we really just want to continue expanding. This is our anniversary edition. 2 special reasons: anniversary, and it is also the last Super Sale of 2022. So it's not to be missed.
That was the last one. I would imagine that was one of them. Yeah, imagine.
It's all the way down. Now we've had to extend ourselves
to our
into
side
another.
So we basically lock off all of downtown and make it to a sale, a market.
Yeah.
Make it a market.
It's beautiful. So okay, what kind of process does it take for you to set this up? Because I know it's all fun and games when you're out there, but I can't imagine the amount of work that it took for you guys to engage in businesses, explain them to be here, to tell them the benefits, to make sure that you get people to come. So talk to us about that process.
So basically the process is, we've been having Super Sale since 2018.
Right.
So by now we have kind of set our blueprint in place. After each Super Sale, we get together, go over lessons learned and see how we could improve it each time, which is why no 2 Super Sale is the exact same. Each one has different features and we try to take it to a different level each time. Basically, we have our Excel sheets in place. We fill them out. We reach out to vendors. Vendors reach out to us. We fill it out, and they already understand the process in terms of needing electricity, booths, tables, location. They get their space ahead of time, come out in the morning to set up.
So the vendors set up there.
Yes.
Is there? They pay a fee.
Yes.
I would imagine.
Well, it starts at 10 by 10 spaces, which is just a $25 fee.
Okay. And are there like prime real estate that people seek after early?
Honestly, at this point, because it's been happening for so long, people kind of have their
location
spaces that are, you know, they know it's their spaces.
Okay.
Especially those people who have been here for the past like 5 years
5
with
years,
us.
yeah.
You know, they have their spaces.
So it's not only the businesses benefiting because now it's an exchange
It's an
where
exchange.
consumers benefit as well. Let's
It's
talk about
honestly,
that.
at this point, we describe it as, and I think this is honestly a true description, at this point, the Super Sale is the largest shopping experience in Belize City.
I would
There is no
imagine
other place that you could
in
go and
Belize,
have
maybe.
so many options in terms of products and services available in Belize City at one time.
Wow.
Okay, so when it comes to what is it that you want us as the consumers to get from this Super Sale? What is so super duper fantastical about the sale this year? Apart from it being your anniversary.
I mean, let's go over our highlights
Yes.
for our anniversary
Please.
edition. You know, it's an anniversary, you have to give back
Big-
something,
yes,
right?
yes.
So what's special about this anniversary edition? One of the things actually is that we're having an anniversary grand raffle. And for this grand raffle, it's not just winning one prizes when you win, it's 12 grand prizes. And for example, just first prize is a $600 flat screen TV, 1 month free internet and cable, $200 gift certificate to a boutique, $50 gift certificate to Brody's, $50.
How much to Brody's?
$50 to Brody's,
Okay.
$50 to Hofiel's, 1 case of Belikin, 1 wine.
That just
And I think $200 V-Bucks from Benny's as well. This is just one prize. This is just one prize. So that's why it's a grand raffle.
Man, it's all right. So
Did you leave anything for anybody else?
for the second prize,
Yes, they have 12 of these. So it's
12
like
prizes.
12 of the same types, yes.
Wow.
I mean,
all
12 of the same
12
types.
grand prizes. So each of them is like a variation of different
Okay.
prizes. None of them is just one or two.
You know that's true
wins.
because sometimes the grand prize I want to look at it like wow, and then the third prize is actually the one I want.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that the main highlight for the anniversary?
I mean, we like to think the first prize is the best prize,
Yeah.
but they're all pretty great. They're all pretty
Right.
great.
So
There are also other highlights, though. We
Yeah,
have
let's talk
our
about them.
one-stop traffic
Traffic stop.
Yes.
So for this Saturday only, our traffic services will be available. It is end of month to kind of have people come on Saturday if they don't want to come Monday morning and stand in a
Nice.
long line.
So come Saturday,
Right.
and stand in a long line
Saturday, City
instead of
Hall,
Monday.
our traffic services will be available.
Oh
Driver's
my
license
God.
renewal,
Yeah.
driver's license renewal, inspection,
But it opens
vehicle
at 8,
licensing.
which is great. It doesn't time with the actual opening of the.
So we're
Super
starting
Sale.
early. If
Yeah,
anybody
so
wants
we
to get a
have-
head start, our team
Right.
will be
You
available.
could come
to
pay a
assist.
ticket out there if you need.
I ain't
But remember, April enough on the city. She don't know the
Yeah, oh,
She
yeah.
don't know the
So you
rules.
could get to,
we
you could
come
get.
from we come from them. I don't
You
know
get
what that
where.
one-way street in Belize. I think Google Maps took me there.
So how do you? So you're talking the traffic one-stop traffic stop. The prizes.
We have a dunk tank.
Oh,
if you
yes.
want to volunteer, Paul, to go into the dunk tank, that would be
Volunteer.
I
appreciated.
want to dunk somebody.
So there's games and activities
Dunk tank,
that are
hoops
provided
corner,
by the
and
city
obviously with these, you always
Yeah.
you will win a prize as well.
Right, right.
Either cash or drinks or.
So let's talk about your partners and stakeholders and collaborators. You all have these wonderful prizes. Let's talk about your sponsors.
These are sponsored by our main downtown businesses, and these are people that have been with us since the beginning of Super Sale, and we are extremely grateful for their partnership. Things like this would not be possible without
Right.
them. I mean, these are people who are a part of our first 20 businesses in the beginning, and a few others who have joined along the way and have really started to believe in this initiative and become a real part of it.
And actually see the benefits too.
The kids zone, everything is free in the kids
Everything.
zone.
Everything is free in the
No,
kids
man.
zone, and
Popcorn,
because it's an
cotton
anniversary
candy,
edition, we can
everything.
curb the kids zone
You
at
didn't
different
tell
level
me
as well.
they could go there and
Yes.
get popcorn,
First of
cotton
all,
candy.
you can't.
Listen, right?
I mean-
I got nieces and nephews, and
But
if
you-
they get, I get.
No, that's not how it works.
I kind of like that idea, you know.
Right?
If you can get
Yeah,
it.
so the children go out,
Apologize to the system.
Yes, or you can set up on your needs to go get one feel.
right?
Wow, Paul, you give
I have one,
ideas.
brother. The children, they have a fantastic time out there as well. Yeah.
Some parents really go straight to the kids zone, and we
Yeah.
keep telling them,
You
no,
can't just drop off your
leave your
pick day.
kids.
Oh,
You have
they
to-
like that.
you have to stay with your kids. You have to stay with your
Why? You
kids.
see why, right? Okay.
Right. So how do you spoke about the 12 prizes, but how do you enter to win these prizes?
Good question. That's a very
If
good
you spend
question.
$25 or more at the sponsored businesses. So during
Okay.
the day, throughout the day, we will be announcing at Super Sale which businesses you could shop at for a chance to win. And I know obviously it's Super Sale. Besides these great highlights, the stores are also offering their usual discounts. I know Diva's Paradise is offering up to 75% off.
Wow.
For Debari, for every $20 you spend, you get a chance to win a $1,000 shopping spree. And you know, if you spend $100, you enter into Debari's one, spend $5 more, you get into the grand raffle.
Right.
So
Double.
it all
There's
works
always
out.
there's also those smaller little businesses at the very beginning of our street too. Femina is offering 20 to 30% off electronics and clothing. So there's quite a lot happening on that
So
stretch.
20% off manicures and pedicures
Yes,
if you get
with
it a combo,
Delamani.
and 20% off gift certificates for manicures and pedicures.
And I'm sure you could go on and on.
I could go
Yes,
on and
there's a
on.
lot.
There are people
There
applying
really is a lot
lashes
happening.
actually at Super Sale on the Super Sale
April,
zone
you should
tree.
get our
I
lashes.
want yours.
They have lashes, bro tints. It's all happening at the Super Sale.
The setup itself, because I want to need a map, right?
Yes.
100 and add businesses, I'll need a
You need a
map.
map.
So, what businesses do I encounter first? Where is the food? Where are the drinks? Yeah.
Okay, so as usual, usually the day before Super Sale or a day before, we put out the official list. And this is a list of every business that you can expect there. And I know some people use that to do their planning and decide how they want to spend their funds. So that's something we always do.
Yeah.
The food court is always in Battlefield Park. And this year, obviously, it's anniversary.
Yes.
We got even more food for you guys, even more options. Fried chicken, barbecue, elotes. It's all there.
You know, it's comparable to the expo. I think you're only a few booths short of actually having an expo, and you're having it in downtown Belize City. What makes it all worth it for you guys at the end of the event when you sigh a sigh of relief and say, "Man, that was hard, but it was worth
We
it."
always have that at the end of the
Yeah,
day, around
yeah.
6 o'clock when we're shutting down. Mainly what the mayor and the council has always been committed to is creating safe, resilient communities that are extremely inclusive. And this is one of those initiatives that really embody that. This is an event where it's really something for everybody. It's something where we want the entire family to come. We don't want anybody to be left at home. We want everybody to have a good time, create business opportunities, create resiliency, and that is what makes it worth it.
Again, for my viewers, just to be on the safe side, right? You'll be issuing out the map tomorrow. 1. 2, what the traffic stop is at 8, but what time does the actual event start?
10.
10. And then it lasts up until...
We said 10, but people come
Yeah,
9
people come
o'clock
before.
and start going to their booths. They
And
want a
booths done,
head
they all-
start. I mean, they just to finish set up, people just to wait to finish.
This kind of explain why some people sell out so early.
Yeah.
Because there are people that come out really early too.
And for security, because I would imagine that you have
There's
a
a lot of
large
people, a lot of
crowd
money exchange
movement
happening,
and
of
money
course.
exchange.
For every single Super Sale, we partner with both our in-house enforcement team and the Belize Police Department. They scope out the area ahead of time, know where everybody's supposed to be placed, and that's the process for every Super Sale.
Do you see people coming from our district to Belize
That,
City?
that does happen.
does
That does
happen.
happen. They
Yes,
wait
it
for the
does.
bus afterwards, get
Right.
back home with all of the bags.
Right, that does happen.
That does
Right.
happen. And we, of course, welcome everybody to the Super Sale.
How do you see the micro and small businesses compared to the larger corporations this Super Sale? Sorry.
Well, they're growing. That's one. One of the highlights too that we forgot to mention is that we always have a lead tent.
Yes.
And this tent is it features small businesses that don't have the opportunity yet to get a tent or a space by themselves.
Okay.
So
They
we
go under
offer
that.
that, for free. So they get their tables, their chairs, and they have the opportunity to actually showcase themselves right there. So that's
Great
one.
exposure for them.
One of the plus for that is the fact that when the next Super Sale comes around, it gives them that time to say, man, this was so good, and I think I need to break away.
Yeah.
So when they plan themselves into the Super Sale now, they plan themselves into a booth separate.
Wow.
So that's always something that we look to, and we say, yes, I think it'll work out.
So it's almost like you provide a training ground for
Right,
them.
training
An
wheels,
and then they
experience,
go on
right?
their own.
Kindergarten, and they
Right.
say, all right, now fly off and do your
It's also
own
a great
thing.
opportunity for online businesses. A lot of them have booths and they don't really get a chance to always connect face to face with
'Cause
their
they don't have
customers.
storefront.
So a lot of them come out as well.
Do you think that being that it's the end of October, that shoppers may be able to get a head start on some of the Christmas shopping.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hofjes has already started putting out Christmas songs.
I'm pretty
so,
sure
and
Rodis has started as
too.
well. And I
So
always
that's
say with
great-
Christmas.
and
I already
Christmas
put
buff.
up Christmas tree. I know I
Let's
like.
wait for November. First.
No,
Some
no,
people,
no.
it depends. You know,
Look,
April.
I've
I
started
already-
playing Christmas music
come on.
and binge watching Christmas movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
June.
we could play Christmas
I'm sorry.
movies, and we could do our Garfra
This is
music.
true,
I
right?
mean, you could
We
do
could do a
both.
Garfuna Christmas.
I need my
No,
song.
we
I've
don't
already
want
torn
to
up in
mix
his
it. We
grave
don't
right
want to
now.
mix
But ladies, thank you so much once again. Saturday.
This
at
Saturday,
10.
10 a.m.
to
10 to
6.
6. We
All
have
right.
performances as well, entertainment,
yes.
DJs, Riga Boys, Steel Pan music.
not
It's
be
gonna
silent
be,
out there.
Yep.
You're
of
not
course
be
not.
You Steel, of
and
course.
surprises throughout the
DJ
day. So
Dutch.
you don't want to miss it. It is the last one of the year. The next one will be February 2023.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I got my plans. I mean, Valentine edition, guys.
Ladies, thank you so much for stopping
Thank you.
in, and
Thank
we
you
look
for having
forward
us.
to seeing the growth of the super
Yes,
sales
we do
every
too.
year. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
guys.
We are going to take another break, but before we get into our break, Paul, go-karting.
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 I saw you were in the Spanish Lookout.
Lookout, yes.
Driving a go-kart.
I tried.
You tried.
I tried, but I kind of failed a little bit. But you'll get to see that in this feature. It is the Belize Automobile Club. They are right now currently in their karting tournament in France. We went to Spanish Lookout on Sunday.
Oh, I thought you went to
see,
France.
I wish I had gone to France to see what this is all about. This is our go-karting feature with the Belize Automobile Club. Check it out.
Today is the 5th of 6 race in the Caribbean Motors Cup. So the Caribbean Motors Cup is a youth go-kart slalom championship. So karting slalom, you don't need a big racetrack. You just need a parking lot and some orange cones and 2 carts. And the kids are timed. It's chip timed and it's fastest time wins. So we have a 6 race series here at Caribbean Motors locations countrywide. And today's the 5th of 6, so we'll have one more in 3 weeks to determine our champions.
Here we go, on your mark, hit set,
So there's been an association in Belize called the Belize Auto Club for quite some time, and it's an affiliate member of the FIA. The FIA is the big international racing federation that even governs Formula One racing. So our little event here today is governed by the same association as Formula One racing. So they would, the association here would bring a couple of guys from the FIA every year and run a weekend course for kids. So that's been happening for quite some time. So we started off the year, so way back in January, and we did Discover Karting sessions every couple of weeks at a different location all around the country. So we did 5 of these Discover Karting sessions. About 100 kids went through the initial sessions. From there, then, the kids that really liked what they were doing could sign up for this 6-race championship series. So we have a total of 20 kids from the ages of 12 to 16 that then chose to sign up and are part of this series. They're going to be timed, so it's only 1 kart on the course at a time, and they're going to go through a series of obstacles, and they've walked the course and a couple of times to memorize it, and it's fastest time wins. They're going to get 3 live runs, and it's going to be their fastest live run that counts.
For the racers themselves, how do you normally, because you said they do different courses and different camps and so forth, so how do you get them ready? How do they train and prepare for the sport?
So between the Discover Karting sessions and the race series, we ran 4 practice sessions, and we looked at things like technique and different lines to take and things like that. So we would coach them during each run to show them how to go even quicker. And then after each run today, we're going to give them a little bit of tips when we see that they could do something to make themselves faster.
So the Belize Automobile Club is going to be partaking in a go-karting championship, an international championship in France this week. Kayo, can you tell us what the racers are preparing for and what we should expect?
So last year we were in Panama. We got the third place. Michael Montoya was our racer to get the third place, and very exciting event tournament that we had there. And now we are preparing to go to France. So again, we are going to France to gain more experience with go-kart and slalom.
What got you into this? It's not common sport, so can you tell us how you got in?
My coach, Kayo, he originally got us into it about a year ago.
About a year ago, and you're already competing internationally. How does that feel?
It's an awesome opportunity.
What would you say to other young women that are looking at this sport and can think, I don't think I can do this, or I don't think it's a sport for me? How would you encourage them?
I would say it's a sport that's not too difficult to do. It takes a lot of concentration and focus, so that's all. If you're able to do that, you're definitely able to do this.
I'm from Doublehead Cabbage in the Valley area.
And how did you even learn about this go-karting competition?
Well, my mom showed me it on Facebook and I told her, sign me up, and I just went in it and I love it.
Yeah. How long have you been doing it?
Well, it's been like about 2 months now. Well, I've been
2 months and you're already the fastest racer in the competition?
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Very good.
And the setup itself, the layout that we're seeing today at Caribbean Tire parking lot, is that the same setup in other international areas?
Yes, it will be similar to this, but not exactly, but similar.
How do you advise young Belizeans to get involved in this?
Well, just come out and try it. In the 2 months I was here, I didn't know about anything about go-karting. Nothing, but more and more you get used to it and they let you practice and you get addicted and like
You like the speed?
Yeah.
Well, it's a fun sport. It's a lot of fun driving. It's fun going to different places and competing with each other children.
Did you know how to drive before?
Yes, I did.
What were you driving before?
Four-wheelers, pickup.
You're 13 and you were driving a pickup truck?
I've been racing for about a year.
About a year. And is this your first international tournament?
This will be my second.
Where did you go first?
Last year we went to Panama.
How was that tournament?
It was fun. It was a good experience.
What was the competition like?
It was pretty tough, but we've gotten a lot better since then.
So what are you expecting to be a little bit more different here in France this time?
Well, the carts have 4 times the power because they're electric, so that will be very different. And just competing with on the world scale. Well, you have to do a lot of thinking when you're in the cart to make sure you don't mess up. But the cart does all the work for you pretty much.
When you say things like you need to think so that you don't mess up, are you talking about the way you take turns? Are you talking about your time? What are you thinking about when you're in the race?
Which cones to go close to, which ones to stay away from, to make a sharp turn or a wide turn.
So it's my turn now to figure out some go-karting. Kayo, can you tell me what I need to do?
Okay, so first of all, you need to get in the cart. So then I will.
We're gonna figure this out. Ah! Wow. Okay. So
first of all, we're gonna see which one is brake and which one is gas, right?
Okay.
So this one, you have the brakes.
Okay,
and
but
right here we
I'm
have
very
the
far away
gas.
from that.
Yeah, maybe we need some cushion.
Yeah, I probably need a cushion because I'm very.
Here we go. Very good. So, yeah, which one is the brake and which one is the gas?
Brake, gas.
Very good. So then now I'm gonna start you and you're gonna go through the cons, the track.
Okay.
Get set, go!
And that's it for us here at Caribbean Motors Cup Go-Karting Championship. You can catch their tournament, and also you can catch them on Belize Karting on Facebook. We'll see you soon. Let me try to see if I can get a hold of this.
With eCash, bill payment is extremely convenient, and all utility companies accept eCash payments. What's even better? You get to split bills with your roommates, siblings, or whoever you desire. Simply open your eCash app, go to Bill Pay, tap the respective utility company, enter the information, and pay the bill. Then tap the transaction made. Tap Split the bill. Select Evenly. Send the request to who you are splitting the bill with, and get notified when they pay. Talk about making life easy and avoiding confusion. You can split the bill for restaurants, grocery stores, and for any eCash payment you make. To find your next yummy meal, hair treatment, or chill spot, simply open the app and utilize the geolocation service to see nearby businesses that accept eCash. Geolocation and bill payment make life a whole lot easier.
Life can be tough when a loved one suddenly departs. Dependents of the deceased are sometimes left alone to pick up the pieces and may be stranded financially. Fortunately, the Social Security Board provides survivor's benefit to ease the burden. Survivor's benefit is paid to a widow or widower, children under 18 years, or up to 21 years if attending school, or dependent parents. A survivor's benefit can be either a grant or a pension. Want to know more about Survivor's Benefit? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity. increase traffic to your website and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Wow. Oh my God, she drunk. No hurry, I got this. Goodness. Oh my gosh, it's the artist.
Being the hardest. The artist. But you had way more than 2 drinks tonight, love, which is a legal limit to drive. What about you? Can you drive?
Well, I was drinking soft drink all night, so I can drive her home. Thanks, Bree. Of course, Tricia, you know I got you. You're my girl.
That's what I like to see. Friends don't let friends drive drunk, because you can't replay in a real life. Stig says so. Can't replay in a real life.
We are back with our final conversation for this morning. We have with us representatives of the NCFC, and they're here to talk to us about the Children's Parliament. Joining us in studio, we have Madam Speaker. I know they tell me drop it, but I can't. Madam Speaker Valerie Woods, good morning. And to my left, we have the representative of UNICEF, Ms. Paulette Wade. Good morning.
Good morning.
And
good morning.
we have our Madam Chair, Ms. Maria Contreras. Good morning.
Good morning.
And then joining us via Zoom,
Yes.
April, allow me the honor
Please.
to welcome Jalil Garbut, who is the VP of the Senate for the Children's Parliament. Right? So that's the conversation this morning,
Yes.
April. Children's Parliament coming up on November 11th. It's an annual thing that we do here in Belize, giving our youths a platform to voice their concerns, to gather their information and present and make presentations in well-informed, structured manner, much like we do in the House of Representatives and the Senate, without all the type of color that we're used
The
to.
pomp and circumstances, what I call
Well, that's what you want to call it. And so that's what we're in to talk about this morning. And so I'd like to start with Madam Speaker, Ms. Valerie Woods, just for you to tell us how the experience has been, what it has been like for you over the last couple of years being a part of this process.
So this would be the thank you both, and thanks again for the excellent initiative spearheaded really by the National Committee for Families and Children and UNICEF, as well as with the support of the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Human Development. This would be my second experience as speaker, providing support to this important initiative. But this year I'm particularly excited. I intend to be in the gallery watching because it's the year where restrictions have been lifted. And so if you monitored the second installment last year of this parliament, it was a bit restrictive for the youths. So I'm very excited. I'm also excited because of, you know, it's always interesting to listen, even when for the first Children's Parliament, when they did it, I was at the time in the Senate as a opposition senator, and I was really impressed with the parliamentary, if you will, rapport. Not pump and circumstance or color, but the rapport, the discourse, the parlance used. Obviously, a lot of training and support by way of UNICEF and NCFC and the consultant that they had to make that happen. So I'm always intrigued by the perspective they bring. Youths bring a very different perspective, and I know we like to say that, you know, folks like Jalil and Azaria, who I see has joined as well. She's going to be representing me, I gather, in the House. We always say that our youths are the future, but really they're so very present. And the issues are present, not necessarily in years to come. And so it's interesting to have them participate now.
You hear this perception that as adults, there isn't anything they could teach us. There's nothing we could learn from them.
That is an absolute
be the
myth.
contrary
Absolute
in these
myth.
sessions?
Yes, absolute myth. They bring a unique perspective to the challenges that we're facing because they're bringing it through their lens. And sometimes us adults need to just take a moment and listen and become student at times, listening to them. What's interesting is also folks like Jalil and Azaria and the other youth parliamentarians, because of the age range, by the next general elections, they can actively, many of them will be able to actively participate in that process and bring their voice at an even much higher level. So it's really a wonderful initiative that has been undertaken, one that the National Assembly willingly supports all the time, and one that I think enjoys, I can say, bipartisan, multi-partisan support. All members of parliament are always interested in meeting their youth counterpart and trying to get their feedback. I'm interested in learning from them, what did you think of the last House meeting or the last Senate meeting? Of course, I was just, when we were off camera, telling Mr. Lopez that many people say it's always the best House meetings and Senate meetings when the youths are in the gallery. So maybe we need more youth in the gallery.
I think the research process of it all, because yes, the kids are interested in being right there, the ones that apply and so forth, but what are the measures that they have to take? And I guess this is more a question for Jalil and Azaria and of course Ms. Paulette, but how do you even provide them with the substantial amount of information that they would need in order for them to be prepared for something like this?
Well, let me start and then you can, you know, let the young people really speak about their experience. But what we try to do is to create an environment where learning is important. And one of the things that we keep stressing is that data and evidence should drive their presentation. Of course, we know that anecdotal evidence is also necessary and that qualitative part. But once you can have the data doesn't lie. That's a data that's there. You can research, you can present that data within your presentation. And so the whole idea of research method is also shared with them. There is a consultant that actually works with these children. So they meet together as a group, and as well they meet individually with her to be able to, you know, fine-tune their research before they could get into the actual writing of their presentation. I don't like to say speech because it's more about trying to find the angle to deliver your own idea of one, because it's one bill, but it's a different perspective, and it's always nice to see how each of these parliamentarians are able to find their unique niche, their angle to be able to support the bill, as it were.
I would imagine there's a lot of there's a revelation process. There's a lot of revelation that takes place when these young people engage the data, when they engage the information that the revelations that they otherwise wouldn't have received if not for this program, in terms of oh, I never know this the statistics for this topic, or this some of the statistics for that topic. So with that, I'd like to bring in Jalil. Morning, Jalil.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, Jalil. Where are you from?
I was born and raised in Belize City, and I'm currently attending 4th form at St. John's College.
Wow, wow, incredible. And tell me, what is it like for you being a part of a parliament? I mean, it's a big deal, right?
Well, it's really been a fun and challenging experience having to deal with juggling school, my chores at home, and plus now this parliamentarian thing, because we went to the sitting of the House, and we really saw that a substantial amount of effort is actually put into creating, thinking about, and passing a bill, and they really have the government that's in. They only think mostly about the pros, but luckily the opposition is there to think about the cons. So you can really hear everyone's opinion, such as the bill that we're passing about vocational education.
What will be your role in Parliament?
I will be the Vice President.
Do you know what that entails at this point?
Well, they told me that I will.
We're having a bit of
Go ahead. Sorry, repeat that.
They told me that we will be there. Everyone will get 3 minutes on their opinion of the matter of the bill that we're going to pass, and I will mostly be looking at the leader of the opposition to make sure that he doesn't or she doesn't step out of line or like go and violate standing order 40, which entails everyone should be quiet when a senator is speaking, like only one at a time.
Jalil, you know that's a very important role, because it happens a lot. And I know Madam Speaker could attest to the fact that she has to keep her eyes, well, on the opposition as well as on
I was just going to say,
both sides get out of line. Objective.
And so I want to bring Azaria into the conversation now. Good morning, Azaria. Are you there?
Yes, she is.
Morning.
Good morning.
Azaria.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. How old are you, where you're from, and what school you attend?
Okay, so my name is Azariah Chaplin, and I'm from Belize City. I'm 15 years old, and I'm in 3rd form at St. Catherine's Academy.
Oh, nice. And what's your role? Well, first, were you at the sitting of the House recently?
No, sir, I wasn't.
You weren't. All right, no problem. Tell me about your role in Parliament. What role will you play?
Okay, so in this upcoming Parliament, I'm supposed to be the Speaker of the House, which is very exciting for me.
Do you know we have the Speaker of the House in right now with us?
Yes, sir, I do. That's why I'm very nervous.
Yes, I'm very nervous. Azaria, tell us about how you are preparing for this process. I mean, you clearly you are shadowing the Madam Speaker of the House, Valerie Woods. But what else? What else are you doing to help you with your presentation come this Parliament?
Well, or the consultation that we have been doing with Miss Elena Six, she has been helping us to perfect or writing, or when we're talking about giving speeches in public and all that stuff. So we have been attending meetings so that we can share as a group and share our opinions so that everyone gets an understanding of what everyone thinks.
What's the topic that you're presenting on?
Okay, so the bill for this upcoming Parliament is vocational education development, which would ensure that tertiary and secondary level education offers vocational courses and that they receive a certificate or license after finishing that course. It helps them to it helps them to be more prepared for society and gives them more of a realistic job approach.
You know, that's a very important topic, especially here in Belize. What's one thing that you perhaps have learned throughout this process that you said, that's something new to me that I wasn't really considering?
Well, so far I have been more considerate of the House of Representatives. They have to go through tedious research and all that stuff, and I've never really appreciated that. No, I've just watched them and be like, he has a point, she has a point when they're talking. But they have to do research and citation so that they're quoting exactly what they're saying, and that has made me have more appreciation for them.
Madam Chair, I want to get you in on the conversation in terms of why this is important. So we're having the Children's Parliament. We have our leaders in government. These kids are shadowing our leaders in government and doing this research. What is the hope for this particular activity?
Okay, well, the National Commission for Families and Children, better known as NCFC, is actually it's the mandate of the NCFC to be able to find a way, create opportunities for children to be heard, to be seen, for decision makers to look at what they say, their views, their opinions, for the children to be taken seriously, and that it's being taken into account. These youth, they're like the future of the country indeed, and they do have valid points. When we listen to them, we pay keen attention. They look at us from the lens of their eyes, and we better take heed. You know, they live in the society that we live, and so we have to also make sure that their rights are also protected, and they have a right to speak out their mind.
Indeed.
And that they are listened to, and that we're taking them seriously.
The way that the Children's Parliament works is these kids are looking at big decisions, big issues that are affecting the country presently. In terms of not just their research and shadowing members of administration, when you're talking about perspective, their perspective, do you think that it is written out or it is voiced like a child, or are they thinking like a leader?
It's a very interesting question. In one of the sessions with the NCFC and UNICEF, that point was raised that it was important not to groom them as what they view right now, what they currently see, but to ensure that it is their thoughts, their voice, and that we are not muddling necessarily. One of the exciting, I would like to think, one of the exciting opportunities that this brings for youths like Azaria and Jalil and the many others is that being a parliamentarian is something that a young person can aspire to be. It's not a bad thing. It's actually service the country at one of the highest levels, and they have an opportunity to impact how that can be done differently than what they see. One of the changes that was made from the first installment to the second one, which was held last year, was to ensure that it is the entire process of Parliament and not just not just the House. Because before it was limited just to House, but the process of a bill has to go through the House, then it gets to the Senate, and really until after it's assented by the Governor General, which is Belize's head of state, then it is a bill. It is not a bill until that entire process is completed. So both the President, Carolyn Trent Sandiford, and myself, last year, we had asked for consideration that we don't do a disservice to the youths by limiting it just to the House, but that we go through the process. And hoping that by doing that, appreciate that being a parliamentarian, whether that role is one of an appointed senator or an elected member of the House or one of the presiding officers, they are really critical roles to governance, and it really can be something they can aspire to. We love doctors, we love bankers, we love journalists, but you can be a parliamentarian as well in addition to those things. And it would be nice if we can get our young persons interested from an early age and maybe have young parliamentarians who, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the official age of youth is it 18 to 30? So it would be nice if we can also have members within that range as well to form part of the diversity that the Parliament should have.
The children's parliament, sorry, is aged at 13 to 18. Right. So how do you find the wealth of knowledge of what they already kind of know, previous knowledge about the Parliament and about the Senate and the House of Representatives before they actually engage themselves in this?
Well, I want to say that the information that the children have in terms of these processes are very limited at the beginning. I feel that this is something that maybe we can more include in social studies and these kinds of things that children do with mainstream within the education system. However, what I must say is that once the information is given to them, children are excited, they want to learn, and as you heard, they can start quoting these things. So a part of the entire training is for us to assess the knowledge. So at the beginning, we do a pre-test to see how much they know, and then at the end, we see how much they have learned. So we know where we start from and how much the children have learned through the process, because we want to ensure that it's not only about the experience in the house, but it's also learning. You know, how do you take evidence and create a presentation that is dynamic, that you are able to get your point across in a respectful manner.
You know, I'm truly excited about this process.
We are too.
It's revolutionary in the sense that we're right in saying these are our future leaders, and now what we're doing is we're equipping them with the experience so that when they in fact bid for these positions in the future, they come with that experience and they come with that wealth of knowledge to say, I've been there. I'm more confident now that I could actually take up this position in an official capacity and that I could do a just service to my people and to my country. And so I want to go back again to Jalil and Azaria, just lastly, to ask, what is it that both of you hope to achieve from your presentations? So I'll start with Ms. Chaplin. What is it that you hope to achieve from your presentation?
Okay, so like you were saying, I do believe that children are the future and we are the voice of the future. So from this experience, I hope that I gain more leadership skills, and I hope to express my opinions on the issues that youth face in Belize.
And yourself, Mr. Garbut?
He's still
Is he
here.
with us?
He gone to school already?
Yeah, had to prep for SBA.
Can you please repeat the question?
All right, so the question is, what is it that you hope to achieve from your presentation, the one you're preparing?
Well, I'm not really into public speaking, but as you can see, I'm gradually coming out of my shell to help me voice my opinion more and more expression into my speeches. And it will also help me with my time management skills, like I said before, with juggling multiple things to do during the day. So, and it will really help me to meet new people and make new friends and all kinds of things after that.
You know what? I love that you said the public speaking part, and I love that you talked about social skills, because we discussed the information, we discussed what would make them a good leader and so forth. But for somebody like Jalil, who is doing this to do professional development skills, you know, that is something that I think is clear to be is to be seen. And I commend you for breaking out of your shell, Jalil, and coming on to speak to us. So you did practice. Best of luck to you, to yourself, and to Azaria. The Children's Parliament is November 11. At what time?
It starts as a regular assembly meeting.
It starts at 9.
Oh, it starts at 9.
10. You have to be ready for 9. They have to be ready to leave for 9. Because we are keeping everyone in one area next to Belmopan, and then they have to be ready at 9 for transportation. And this year we have listened to Madam Speaker, and it's inclusive. We have extended the opportunity to children as well with disabilities. So we have a task to ensure that these children can access the house and to participate as well.
That's wonderful. So extremely inclusive.
Yes.
This year the galleries will be open for public viewing.
And where
we
can
hope
we
them to be packed?
I
would love for the house to be packed. I think Azaria as the speaker. It's a far, you know, I have not had that full experience. So she gets to beat me on that one. And she will have a house that she presides over, that hopefully both sides of the gallery will have.
Careful, you know, because you might need space outside with a big screen because of how much students and peers and friends will be
and
there.
that was going to be my next question. If I can't make it to the house, can I access it somewhere?
Yes, it will be live streamed, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Miss Maria.
It will be live stream. All the children, the Ministry of Education has collaborated with us, and they will have that day set aside free for all children to be able to view the whole proceedings.
How you mean? Tell me. You mean it's set aside free for them?
Well, for that school day, you know.
So they'll show it in the schools?
Yes. We have.
Oh, really?
Yes. With at the time of the pandemic, remember they were all learning through
online
stream and so on. And so they do have projectors and all that facilities now. And we'll have it also on radio. TNC will be hearing it. Yes, just the way we hear the house meeting.
No pressure, Jalil. No pressure, Azaria.
Channel 5, yes. And
open your eyes in the morning.
Yes.
And then we will be having a person there, a youth, doing sign language.
Oh.
Christopher Broster will be there so that the children from Stella Maris are able to listen in
he
and move
actually
in.
assisted the last house sitting. He was very kind enough to join NCFC, and he actually was signing during that meeting.
Christopher Broster is a student of mine.
He's from Belmopan. Big up Belmopan.
And he learned this skill. So he is not hearing impaired, but he learned this skill, and every chance he gets, he tries to be an advocate for sign language.
I know the guy.
Yes,
I'm familiar
so
with him.
Wonderful. But ladies, any final words for our viewers before we close our segment this morning?
Just that I hope your viewers tune in on November 11th. It's really an exciting year to have it because it's without the restrictions, It's testing the full process. People should be in the gallery, which has not been something visible for quite a few years now in Belize. And hopefully it's an opportunity, my bias I expose here, but hopefully it's an opportunity for Belizeans on a whole to appreciate that our assembly needs to accommodate inclusivity as much as possible, because if we don't, we're saying to our future leaders that if you have a disability or you are disadvantaged in any way, you can't represent, and that's not the message that we would like. So in 2022, I'm hoping that we will get a lot of support for that, and thanks to the Youth Parliament for pushing the envelope and making that a reality.
And that's, go ahead. Final thoughts?
Well, I want also for the youths that are in school not to be afraid, you know, like you might be in a little, like in a shell, you have a little shy and timid and so on, but that you can make it, I would like to encourage them to be more participative, and that they can do it too. If this group decided that, even though I'm a bit timid and shy, I'm going to get there, that they also can apply. Next year, it's open again, go through applications, and they can also participate.
And Ms. Wade?
Well, again, like Valerie, I hope that Belize tune in. The committee is trying their best to ensure that all mediums are available. We're also looking at how do we get to the rural areas as well. The Ministry of Education has agreed that the children will have that chance to listen in, to tune in, and we hope that it's an opportunity for them to understand that they are a part of the process, and their voices should be heard and their opinions valued. And so we hope that with this, it's the start of our it's a way to showcase the conventions of the rights of the child, to ensure that children are a part of the decision making. And so we hope that with that, we keep this fire burning, that the children become parliamentarians and they become models to their peers, and so that next year we have a new cadre and we grow this kind of leaders in our country that we so need.
April, you could imagine that if the entire population of youth in Belize grasp that concept and rise up on issues as a whole, we would have to listen. We would have to listen and take heed. So I appreciate this whole initiative.
Thank you, ladies, so much for stopping in. And of course, tune in November 11th, beginning at 10 a.m. It's going to be everywhere, so you have no excuse not to listen and not to support and to watch.
It's even going to be live on 5 and open your eyes as well.
So you don't want to miss that out. Stay tuned. We are going to take our final break, and we'll be back for wrap up. So we're live right here on 5. Don't go away.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Hi, I'm Chef Sean Quillen. I love cooked fish fillet, and I prefer to get my fish straight at the fish market right here at Congsell Bay. But you see, sometimes you come out here and you don't know what you're getting. The fish has no label, it has no patch of skin. But don't worry about it. I am here today to teach you how to avoid fish fraud. When purchasing your fillet, remember to look out for the patch of skin required by law. Or you could tell them by the physical characteristics. Long and slender, barracuda. Nice white meat, hagfish. The deep bloodline from the bow to the stand, that is jack. When buying in bulk or buying out of a bag, make sure to inspect each fillet individually to avoid what we call in a Creole, pussy in a bag. What a pussy in a bag? Fraud. If that's not the help you, because even for me as a professional chef at this man for 40 years, that's really challenging. All I could tell you is buy from a reputable source or buy it whole. And if all of that's not available to you, just go to fishrighteatright.com and we at Oceana have a fish identification chart. Because guess where you're going here now? We talk about bloodline just now one thing, and that's a snapper, right? Classic snapper. What kind of snapper this?
This is the shark.
Nurse shark. Highly illegal. No make they trick you, no make you buy pussy in a bag. Do the right thing. Fish right, eat right.
I will be there. Thank you so much.
Why are you so excited?
Let me tell you a secret. I just got off the phone with Santa.
Hi, Santa. For Christmas, I want a pea shooter, a football. iPhone and a makeup for Christmas.
Oh, come on. 1 second.
We just learned that Santa's phone number has just been revealed. The number is 227-7132.
I'm sorry, Dad. I shared Santa's phone number.
Just like that.
Wrapping things up, we want to thank all of you for tuning in this morning. Special thank you to all of our guests, those that came in from the Immigration of Belize, the City Council in Belize City, and of course our friends at NCFC. Thank you all so much for taking the time to come in, and of course thank you to our viewers, because without you this wouldn't be possible. So thank you for tuning in. And we gotta go. Do you have a birthday shout out?
I don't, not today. Do you have a birthday
shout out? No, always you and John will just pull up a birthday shout out for me, but I don't have a birthday shout out. But regardless, if it is your birthday today, happy birthday from all of us here at Channel 5. But if you do have a birthday and you would like for us to give you a shout out, you can always drop us a line right here at OIE. It's coming up, OIE at channel5belize.com. And of course, you can always catch our live stream on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and our highlights on Instagram at OIE Belize. We'll see you again tomorrow when you open your eyes.
And start your morning right.
Be sure to keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts open. April, tomorrow, Halloween edition.
I'm excited.
We may keep it a surprise, but the surprise the surprise is the set.
The set?
We're gonna transform Open Your Eyes, and April will come as...
No. We're gonna transform Open Your Eyes. We're gonna transform our hosts. We're gonna transform
so you don't want to miss that spooktacular. I hope
that you drop by for this spectacular.
Of course, I'll drop by just to see what happened, but it's gonna be a really fun Friday tomorrow.
It is gonna be a fun Friday, so you don't want to miss it. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great and safe Thursday. Goodbye, please.
Peace.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.